So as you can tell by the title, we'll be talking about branding, K-Swiss GaryVee, the Crushing It sneaker, which we have over here. Woo, this is gonna be a good one. And it's all around branding. Stick around. Hi, Jamie here, once again with you guys for episode number 7. That is a very important number. It's cool, I like it, it's lucky, it's mine. What we're gonna do is look at what a brand has done to keep themselves relevant. I mean, K-Swiss has been around since 1966, and you know, they kind of kept themselves all the way through kind of the same way, always looking at the tennis footwear. That's been their thing. But a few years back, in 2012 if I'm not mistaken, they went and did a revamp on their logo to kind of bring it up to today's standards. Not that they've done a lot of changes. I mean, you have the old logo right here. I don't know if we can do that. And then the new logo on this side. So as you can see, the difference isn't that big, but it's enough to create that statement that things are changing. And another thing that they've changed as well is they kind of tried to go a little bit of a different route. They kept their heritage, but they're trying a new little avenue, let's put it that way, and that is the entrepreneurship world, which when you look at the landscape of today's society, entrepreneurship has grown to a different kind of level. Nowadays it's, you know, even for the younger generation, the 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds that are starting off a new business, it's like a game now. So, you know, keeping in the theme of sports, bringing the entrepreneurs as the new team players for this new wave of what they want to do with their brand. I think that they were thinking ahead and thinking in today's terms. So they aligned themselves with a lot of different other entrepreneurs, one of them being Gary Vee. If you don't know who he is, I'll leave some links down on the description so you guys can find all his material. If you don't know who he is, well, you should, especially if you're into business, entrepreneurship, social media, and all that kind of thing. And it was a good mix, I think, in my opinion. It's interesting that we were able to speak with Barney Waters. He's the president of K-Swiss. He was here in Toronto a few weeks back actually, for the release of this sneaker from GaryVee, and it was interesting to see his point of view when it came to why they chose to go this route.
About how do you rebuild a brand and be unique? And all the sneaker companies are like athletic brands or a lot of celebrity endorsements now, rappers, NBA players. If you play the same game as your biggest competitors, you're never going to win.
Exactly.
You've got to change the game, play a different game. So I was working at the time, I'd love to tell you it was all my idea. I was working with a really creative agency called Vice, which is one of my agency partners, and one of them had this nugget of this idea of, look, youth culture is shifting toward entrepreneurship as like the new thing, you know. And if you really talk to people and look at people, no one's like trying to run faster at this point.
That's true.
So why are we talking about athletics all the time? But entrepreneurship is the new aspiration of young people. Then I'm like, well, who can personify that? Who's the face of this like young entrepreneurship? And I kept coming back to Gary Vee, like that's the only guy that's really like living it and talking about it. So the spirit of it, who else?
So basically this Generation K, which are the sneakers that they're developing, and they've developed now for entrepreneurs, and not only for anybody really, but based on entrepreneurship, it's been a really interesting one. And I think Gary Vee brought in some really good personal brand details to the mix. As you can see, like the detail into the box, having the signature there, having some relevant information about the person that they're basing the sneaker on. I think these are all really cool little features. Everyone likes to collect things, and this makes it really collectible, having that personalized logo there and all this personalization to the actual sneaker. I think it's an amazing idea and it's a good way to go. Now, will this work? Will this not? Time will tell. I have a gut feeling it will. I think people are more in tune to this kind of thing. So when it comes to branding and why you should update your branding or change your branding around a little bit every so often is is something that I like to talk to with my clients, especially the clients that have companies or businesses that have been around for a lot longer, or especially companies that have been around before social media was around. They're always afraid to change, to update their logo because they think they're gonna lose their identity. And it's far away from that. As long as you don't change too much, people will still recognize the logo and recognize the brand. Which brings me to another question is, don't change it in a way that your clients won't know your logo anymore or won't know your brand anymore. That's a mistake. You can't do such a drastic change unless you really want to go from selling apples to oranges, and then fine, you can do that. Now, when it comes to that, you can't be afraid of changing because you need to adapt to the new reality of the world. And when logos were created 20, 30, 40 years ago, they weren't ready for the new platforms, for social media, for your websites, for all of these things that we now have and use on a day-to-day basis. So sometimes you just need to change that a little bit, bring it up to date, and things will work a lot better. One of the examples I always bring up is Starbucks. I mean, if you look at the initial logo of Starbucks when it came out, that wouldn't be too much of a good idea to use in today's platforms and make sure that it would work. It wouldn't work. There was just too much detail going on, and this is why the new logo is a lot simpler and easier to look at when it comes to social media, how it works on your website. So these are things that, as a business owner or as somebody that has a business for a while, you need to really look at that. And now going back to what we were talking about, I think they've, just to give my 2 cents on this, I think they've done a great job into looking at what society is all about today. I think they did a great job in searching out entrepreneurs that they think that they can bring in some value as well. I think the mix is perfect when it comes to this, and I think society is ready for this kind of thing. I think we're going to see more and more of this happening, not only with sneakers, but with any type of thing. Going more into a niche, one of the two, and making sure that the public in general gets more interested in your product. And that's it for today. I hope you guys found the information relevant for you. And if you have any more questions or comments, just keep writing them down below. I'll do my best to kind of get back to you as much as I can, because the comments are like thousands and thousands of comments at this point. So I'll try. I'm being ironic. Yeah, I need more comments, guys. Come on, say something. Give me the subscribe, the thumbs up, all that kind of stuff that everyone always asks. Oh, and by the way, if you guys want a good read, Crushing It from Gary Vee is a good book. He's got a whole bunch of other books. You should check that out, again, on the links. And that's it for this one. I'll catch you on the next one. Let me just go back. I almost had that one. God